Hey, it's Chris Cashman facing some serious fear here today. I don't know about you, but a 15-foot spider, that's a little outside of my comfort zone. But fear and fascination, they do it the best here at the Pacific Science Center. And I'll tell you all about it tonight. Why are you looking at me? Do I have one on me? Tonight, on evening.
Treats at T-Mobile. Check out the new food hitting it out of the park for the upcoming Mariners season. Why critics are calling Project Hail Mary a movie masterpiece.
The world is counting on you.
Plus, we chat with South by Southwest festival goers to see what the ever-expanding event is about.
And welcome to the show officially from one of my favorite places, the Pacific Science Center. My first job. Tribute to the powder blue lab coat I used to wear here today. And you know what? This place has been making Seattle smarter since it opened its doors in 1962, and now there's even more to explore.
In 1962, Seattle's World Fair welcomed millions to explore the wonders of science at the United States Science Exhibition, known today as Seattle's Pacific Science Center.
It's a really exciting time for us. I'm sure, as you know, we just announced the sale of 21% of our footprint to the Space Needle. So in the upcoming months, we're going to see changes to that space and a new developing partnership with the Space Needle.
People notice the dinosaurs are gone and this place is evolving.
Those dinosaurs meant so much to the Seattle community, and we actually kept 2 of them. So if you go into our main entry, we still have our Allosaurus and we still have our T-Rex. But yeah, the dinosaurs, we've learned a lot about dinosaurs in the last 40 years, and that's how old they are, the ones that we have. And so they were no longer scientifically accurate, and they also occupied in the space that we have just now sold to the Space Needle. So it was time for some change, and yeah, we're excited about moving forward, just like science.
For decades, this has been a field trip favorite.
Our mission is to ignite curiosity in every child and to fuel a passion for discovery, experimentation, and critical thinking in all of us.
From the tropical butterfly garden to the incredible laser dome,
which allows you to explore music in different ways.
And the seasonal favorite exhibition, spiders.
And then coming after that is actually a Lego Artemis space exhibit, which we're really excited to bring. That's going to be on May 22nd. And so I'm excited about what the future holds. Science is always moving forward, and we are too.
I encourage you to come surround yourself in science here at the Pacific Science Center, open Wednesday through Sunday. And speaking of science, big new movie getting ready to hit the big screens. It's all about saving the sun. And the movie makers behind this film says it's just about as ambitious as that mission itself. Saint takes us behind the scenes, the movie making magic for Project Hail Mary.
Please state your name.
Ryland Grace. He spoke up from a coma.
Ryland Grace wakes up in space, and he slowly regains his memories, and he realizes that the reason he's there is that the sun is dying.
I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. With the rest of us.
Based on a book by the same Andy Weir who wrote The Martian, Project Hail Mary is the story of a highly resourceful, everyday molecular biologist who must find a way to stop alien microbes from infesting our sun.
And it's making the sun get dimmer and dimmer because it's growing over more and more of the sun's surface area. And so humanity has to find a way to solve that problem or we're all gonna die.
The stakes couldn't be higher. But in the hands of co-directors Phil Lord and Everett's Christopher Miller, Project Hail Mary is about more than science.
Really, it's a relationship story. It's a friendship story, and that is the heart of the movie.
So I have a new roommate now.
This may be your favorite movie character named Rocky in almost 50 years. I'll say no more. Not a single green screen is used in this $200 million movie. So staying true to the novel's scientific realism meant building sets that felt almost like a real spacecraft.
The cockpit is full of real avionics from spacecraft and from like stealth jets and stuff like that.
Even the zero-gravity scenes required intricate stunt work, with Ryan spending hours in harnesses to simulate floating through space.
There's a special place in hell for harnesses and wire work. However it looks, imagine the opposite.
Ryan's spacewalks may be the least graceful ever projected on a big screen, but that's all on purpose.
he reacts in the way that a person who isn't a Navy SEAL might react. A real person might react, like any of us, because we're all very regular, normal people.
Yeah.
And for filmmakers, the goal was simple: keep the heart and hope that made the novel such a phenomenon.
That as long as you don't give up hope, that really anything is possible and miracles are possible.
Project Hail Mary hits theaters on Friday, rated PG-13. Saint says, run, don't walk to see it. It is the must-see movie of the year. What about the must-eat? Our Seattle Mariners are getting ready to head back into town, celebrating 50 years of baseball with a bold new menu, food and drink, and we sent one of our hungriest correspondents. Saint has a menu preview.
Hey, T-Mobile Park was one of the first ballparks to push the boundaries of what stadium food could be. And this year, they've raised the bar again.
It is dinner and a show when you come to T-Mobile Park.
Want to make some savory memories? Start by getting your snacks served inside a replica Washington State ferry. They even float. They can be loaded up with things like crab nachos or fish and chips. Eat enough of these and you just might turn your belly into its own flotation device. Oh, and you get to keep the ferry as a souvenir. Seattle legend Pierogi is now at T-Mobile Park, bringing sweet and savory flavors to the stands. Their smoked salmon pate packs such a burst of local flavor, you might find yourself cheering no matter who's up at bat. And speaking of plates, El Rinconcito, the beloved Mexican restaurant in Kent, is making its major league ballpark debut with authentic dishes like the asada burrito. First time at the park for these folks, but something tells us it won't be the last. Then there is the beef brisket from Rolling Smoke Barbecue. It absolutely melts in your mouth. This place started as a Seattle husband and wife passion project and now has earned its spot right here at the ballpark. Talk about a feel-good story. Got a sweet tooth? Salt and Straw is bringing its legendary tacolet to T-Mobile. A waffle cone dunked in dark chocolate and stuffed with crunchy popped quinoa. Marination is delivering a little aloha with these ube coconut Rice Krispie treats. And don't sleep on the chocolate mousse mousse. It's a soft serve served inside a Mariner's cap. Just as fun to eat as it is to talk about. Last year, the Mariners came this close to making it into the World Series. This year, the menu at T-Mobile Park, already world class.
We cannot control, like if the team wins or loses, but we can give them an awesome experience.
Thank you for that taste, Saint. And holy smokes, the Mariners home opener 1 week from Thursday. So start fasting. One of everything, please.
Up next, Team Evening hits the streets at South by Southwest. And when this local college mascot sings, it's a sure sign of spring.
Wow!
Local stories make a difference.
That's good.
With the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
And welcome back to Evening from the Pacific Science Center. Special exhibit underway right now. Spiders. They like the mood lighting. This is for them. Come check it out because this wraps up April 19th. And then, of course, spiders move right into your house. No, from fear to fascination. That's the theme. Come educate yourself. Nobody does it better than the Pacific Science Center. Speaking of fascination, South by Southwest, this festival taking over social media, maybe the world. We sent Team Evening to find out what the hype is about.
I took my camera out to ask the festival goers one simple question. What are you doing in South by Southwest?
Tell You know, as a young artist from the UK, you dream about performing in America. So to be in America performing at one of the world's biggest festivals is just like, it's a dream come true.
I'm having a great time, enjoying meeting new people, getting free drinks, free food. Yeah, it's a vibe out here.
I really enjoyed kind of seeing the different crowds based off the artists. It's just been a great experience.
Honestly, it's my first time in the state. Austin's lush, it's very busy, everyone's really sweet.
I got to try Invincible Verses, I got to eat a lot of good food.
A festival with more than 4,000 musicians, 375 films and TV shows screening, and many events to connect and discover. I will tell you all about it on our special Evening Takes Over South by Southwest.
South by Southwest has become a global phenomenon. In fact, they expanded to Sydney in 2023 and London in 2025. And stay tuned, coming up on Friday, we're going to package up all the fun we found. We got a special edition of Evening from South by Southwest. Meanwhile, in Leavenworth, there's a small but mighty ski hill. It's been around for about 100 years. Jose has the cool history behind this downhill destination.
Just outside Leavenworth, you will find a ski hill that has entertained many generations.
We're just a gym for the community. Our kids that grow up here do not know how spoiled they are. Having a ski hill literally in their backyard. It's not 35 miles, it's not $100 a day. Ski jumping is really kind of our claim to fame.
A sport with a lot of history in this area.
Olympic trials were here, Olympic training. They had to abandon it eventually because jumpers got so good that they were landing in the flats. But we carry the tradition on today by our alpine ski team. We do not have chairlifts, we have rope tows. We have two, the introductory rope tow, and then we have a big tow, which is pretty substantial.
If ropes are not your thing, don't worry, because they have plenty other activities to do here.
We have a lodge that was built in the 1920s. Great place to go get some hot cocoa, warm up after you've been skiing. We also have the tubing.
No stopping. They'll just unhook you and you'll come straight down the hill.
It's a 100-foot course with a big turn at the bottom. Super fun. Good for all ages. The only rule is that you have to ride by yourself. We even have fat biking trails for those mountain bikers who can't stop mountain biking in the winter.
For those that are looking to improve their abilities in the snow, Leavenworth Winter Sports Club has passionate and certified instructors.
We offer lessons in all types of skiing, downhill, cross country, both classic and skate, and also snowboarding lessons.
Just down the road at Icicle River Trail, I was set for my first lesson.
The Leavenworth Winter Sports Club is one of the oldest winter sports clubs in the nation. Today you're going to learn how to classic ski, which is the best way to start if you've never done any kind of cross-country skiing or Nordic skiing. It's so nice to be able to ski in this area and be in the woods and just such a beautiful terrain. It's a great place to build up your comfort and your confidence. It's a little bit like running in slow motion.
I was having a great time, connecting with nature and learning a new skill.
We got a little bit of something for everyone here. It's really a community gathering place that is beautiful, natural. It's a very local vibe.
Good news, bad news. The good news, it's just $31 for the ski hill. The bad news, it is now closed for ski season, but it will reopen for biking, hiking, and even some summer theater. Look for my daughter Madeline Cashman in The Sound of Music this spring. And speaking of this spring, when this college mascot sings, it is a sure sign that spring has sprung. Move over, Cougs and Huskies. It's tree frog season.
There aren't many college vice presidents who will take you hunting for frogs.
Aha, there's one right there.
But Peter Lortz, vice president of North Seattle College, will.
So these are both Pacific tree frogs.
Because the Pacific tree frog is his school's mascot. And right now they're making their presence known on this campus in the middle of the city.
Yeah, so this time of year when it's a little bit warmer, you do not hear I-5. What you hear instead is this chorus of frogs, the male frogs calling for the females, and it drowns everything else out.
I hear them. Yeah, I heard them.
Ugo Alamillo teaches biology at the college. He works these frogs into lesson plans when they start to sing in the spring.
You know, I can come out of teaching around 8 o'clock in the evening and hear the frogs just screaming like mad, way, way, way louder than the interstate that's right next to it.
Having a tree frog as a mascot makes some good college swag. It also ties the community to the campus, enticing neighbors to explore the wetlands when the singing starts.
I like their croaking noise. It's really loud and it sounds kind of like an engine.
The tree frogs of North Seattle College raised their voices this time of year for just one reason.
This is the time of year that the males will go down to the pond and start calling for the females.
Yeah, this is a huge event of reproduction.
A whole bunch of frog love on a campus that loves frogs.
If you want to see or hear the Froggy Chorus at North Seattle College, the best time is evening, especially this time of the year.
Up next, the man who made the Science Center's arches and other world-famous landmarks, and the children's book he inspired.
Now in our 40th season, Evening shares local stories that make our community shine. Evening is sponsored by Pemco Insurance. Pemco empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at pemco.com.
And welcome back to Evening. Chris Cashman here at the Pacific Science Center. Even her silhouette is iconic. The arches, a part of the legacy of a Seattle-born Japanese-American architect, and his work lives on thanks to his granddaughter.
Katie Yamasaki is at Seattle's Pacific Science Center for the very first time. What makes this visit special? Her grandfather helped build it.
It's such a treat because this building in particular I always kind of saw as among some of my favorite work of his, but I've never been able to actually be here.
Seattle-born Japanese-American architect Minoru Yamasaki designed the Science Center's iconic arches and fountains. He also designed the Twin Towers of the former World Trade Center in New York. His granddaughter tells his story in a book she wrote and illustrated, Shapes, Lines, and Light, My Grandfather's American Journey.
Before he was my grandpa, he was a kid, a teenager even, a young man trying to find his way through the world. A lot of the world happened to him, and he happened to a lot of the world.
Minoru was also the architect for Seattle's Rainier Tower and many other buildings around the world. His designs defied traditional architecture, just as Minoru defied discrimination.
To be Japanese American at the time that he was alive was not an easy thing. He was born in 1912. You know, he wasn't allowed to swim in public pools. He wasn't allowed to sit in the lower level of the movie theater. The buildings he wanted to make were buildings like this, and the buildings that were being made for the Japanese community were internment barracks.
Minoru looked to nature to make buildings that felt open and welcoming.
He really wanted to design buildings at a human scale where people could kind of feel relaxed, feel inspired, feel uplifted.
Katie was 10 when her grandfather died. She remembers him well.
He was a warm and loving grandfather.
Katie's glad he wasn't alive to see his most famous building destroyed, but she's also happy that much of his legacy remains. The main tenets of Minoru Yamasaki's designs are serenity, surprise, and delight. And Katie Yamasaki follows that family tradition with a book that's as beautifully crafted as her grandfather's architecture.
Again, the book is called Shapes, Lines, and Light, and you can find it at your local bookstore. And now an event that might just help you help a loved one.
Are you taking care of someone with Alzheimer's or dementia? The Alzheimer's Association invites you to a free caregiver summit, a day devoted to connecting, learning, and supporting, designed especially for caregivers. It's on March 27th from 10 to 4 at the Mercer Island Community Center. It's free to attend. Lunch is provided, and you can register by scanning the QR code. Evening is sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
And welcome back to the show from one of my favorite places, the Pacific Science Center. It's like seeing some old friends again. I worked here in the 90s, but you know, King 5 goes even further back. We've got a long legacy of working at this place.
And as you probably know, the gift that King and NBC are going to present to the Science Center is a full-scale model of the lunar lander. This is the model used by NBC in all its live broadcasts of the Apollo missions that landed on the moon. The lunar module is going to be the gift to the Science Center from King and NBC. The module, as you remember, is the ferry for two men, the ferry that goes between the command ship and the moon. And in the case of Captain John Young, who we'll see in a minute, this is home for 3 days while he's on the moon.
And just like that, we are out of time, but fortunately, science marches on. Come surround yourself here at the Pacific Science Center. We'll see you next time.